For math today, we are doing Worktext page 165 and 166, and we're also going to be doing the reviews page 163, 164, due to the fact that there's no homework on Wednesdays. So, let's begin by reviewing what we learned yesterday. Yesterday we learned about mixed numbers. So, thinking about mixing something together, we are mixing together a what and a what? Joey, what's one thing we're mixing together?
A fraction.
A fraction. I wish you'd have said the first one first, but what's the first one in the mix?
A number.
You have to say it a different. What kind of number? Give me an example. A whole number. It's called a whole number because it's about the whole thing. You have the whole thing. You don't have part of it. You have the whole thing. So a whole number and a fraction. You're mixing together a whole number and a fraction. All right. So we will look right here and we will do that. We're going to compare this one to this one. So this is the whole thing. So there's your whole number. And I know some of you may not see in the back, but those of you that are up front, what is the fraction here?
1/5.
1/5. So this would be how many, what's the fraction? 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. So this would be 1 4/5. So I'm going to write that above it. So this side is, I'm going to write below it. 1 4/5. All right. Then over here, this is how many whole ones?
2.
And this is
1/5.
2 1/5. So if we were comparing them, 1 4/5, comparing it to 2 1/5, yesterday we learned that all you have to do is look at the whole number. If the whole number is different, then you already know which one is bigger. So you would gobble up the bigger one, the 2, and say that 1 4/5 is less than 2 1/5. Alright, we're also going to review what we learned the day before that. Was that Monday, I guess? How that we can have equivalent fractions. Alright, so we have this whole bar here, and first we divide it into thirds. Alright, so it took 3/3 to make the whole bar, and then we divided it into ninths. And how many ninths did it take to make the whole bar?
9.
Say the fraction.
1.
9 ninths. It took 9 ninths to make the whole bar. But if we look back at 1/3, so you cover it up so you just see 1/3, how many ninths is equal to 1/3?
3 9.
3 ninths. You can see 3 ninths is equal to 1/3. Let's just look at 2/3 now. How many ninths is equal to 2/3? Joey?
6 9.
6 ninths. Very good. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 6 ninths is equal to 1/3. You're going to be doing some things like this on your paper, and you might want to do what they're saying and see, look at what they're saying and see how many is equal to it. Okay, you guys see that? Or cover up and do 2/3 if they're asking you about 2/3. All right. So look at your paper. The very first bar, they show you the whole bar, and then they show you, just like I have up here, thirds, and they show you ninths. Okay. So 1/3 is equal to how many ninths?
3 9.
3 ninths. So on the numerator part, you need to put a 3. They already have your denominator, 9. So 3 ninths. 1/3 is equal to 3 ninths. All right, now again, they want you to look at 2/3 now. So look at 2/3. How many ninths?
6
Say it.
9.
6 ninths. Just blurt it out, guys. We've already talked about it on the board, so now it's time to just blurt it out. So this time put 6 as your numerator. The next one, they're wanting you to put the denominator. You can put your chair back where it belongs because we're not looking at the board anymore. All right, and it would be more easy to do your paper if you would get behind your desk. All right, so they have 3/3. 3/3 would be equal to what? 9 ninths. 3/3 is the same thing as 9 ninths. Because here's your 3/3 and there's your 9 ninths. Both of them are equal to the whole entire bar. All right, and the last one says 9 ninths is equal to blank whole.
1 2.
So just put 1.
No.
1.
No.
1 whole bar. 9 ninths is the same thing as 1 whole bar. Okay, if you have taken this bar, 1 whole bar, and divided it into 9 pieces, you'd have to have all 9 pieces to have the whole bar. So 1 whole bar, 9 ninths is equal to 1 whole bar. Now we're going to do greater than, less than, or equal to without a picture. So that means that the denominators are going to be the same, so that you just look at the numerator and just treat it like normal numbers. All right, so 4 6 and 1 6. 4 6 is
Greater
greater
than
than
1
1
6.
6. All right, then you have 2 fourths and 3 fourths. So 2 fourths is
Less than
less than 3 fourths. Very good. Then you have 1/3 and 3/3. 1/3 is
Less than 30.
and the last one is 4/8 and 3/8. So 4/8 is
Greater than 30.
all right, greater than, yes. Now you need your colored pencils. All right, we are still going to compare, but this time they are making you color them. Okay, so the first one, they have told you to do the mixed number of 1 and 4/6. So what shape is that? Who can tell me, what shape is that? Joey?
Hexagon.
That is a hexagon. So the top hexagon, how much are you going to color?
Whole.
The whole thing, because you need one whole, one colored. So color all of the top hexagon. But on the bottom hexagon, you need to color the fraction. What is our fraction?
4
4
6.
6. So it's been divided into 6 pieces, and you need to color
4.
4 of them. So that is 1 and 4 6. On the other side of the comparison, and am I going too fast? Raise your hand if I'm going too fast. Okay. Hold your paper still while you're coloring so you can color it really neatly. You gotta be really precise when you're coloring 4 out of the 6. Alright, so what is the mixed number on the other side? Everybody read it with me. 2 and 3 6. So, first of all, you need to color what? 2 whole hexagons. I would go ahead and do the top 2 and save that bottom one for the fraction. So color all of that first hexagon and all of that second hexagon. 2 holes. You have 2 whole hexagons. And once you've done that, on the bottom hexagon, you're going to color how many?
3.
3. Because they want you to color 3 out of the 6 because it says 3 6. So you're going to color 3 pieces so that you have colored 3/6 of it. Now, you don't have to put this on your paper, but just a little side note. When you colored 3/6 of it, did you notice that it was equivalent to another fraction that you know? What would 3/6 be, Elise?
A half.
Yes, you colored half of it, didn't you? 3/6 is equal to 1/2. All right, so now let's decide which one was greater. Which one was greater?
2 3 6.
Very good. The one that has 2 whole ones colored is obviously greater. So you're going to have 1 and 4 6 is less than 2 and 3 6. All right, the next one is not a whole number. It is just a fraction. So the first one, they want you to color how much? What fraction?
2.
2/3. So you're going to color how many pieces?
2.
2 of the 3 pieces. And then on the second one, they tell you to color
3 6.
3 6. So you're going to color how many of the pieces?
3.
3. 3 of the 6 pieces. So you've got 2/3 and you've got 3 6. All right. Do you have the same denominator? No. So you're going to want to use what you colored to tell, but I also want you to think about this too. 3/6 is the same thing as what? 1/2. On the 2/3, did you color more than half or less than half? Or did you color half?
More than half.
You colored more than half. So now you can tell by looking at it that 2/3 is greater than 3 6. Because when you did 3 6, you colored half of it. When you look at the other one, how much you colored more than half of it. So you know it has to be greater. You got to be careful on that because I have so many people that see a 2 and a 3 and they think, oh, those are such small numbers. 3 6 has to be bigger, but it's not. 3 6 is only half of it. Okay, so don't look at the numbers when the denominator is different. Don't look at the numbers. Look at the amount that's been colored. Okay? All right, the last one is a rectangle. And I'm going to tell you this. The easiest way to figure this one out is to make sure you color the same part on each. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So the first one, it says 4/8. So how many pieces do you need to color? 4. If I were you, I would color 2 and 2 right underneath it, like that. Color the top 2 and then color the next 2 right underneath it so that you color 4. Don't color 4 going down like this. Don't color 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a reason. Now, when you colored them, what did you notice?
They're equal.
They're equal. All right? What I have a problem with is sometimes people color 1, 2, 3, 4 going down like this, and then they look at that shape, and they look at that shape, and they decide it's not equal. But guess what? If you took these bottom 2 and moved them up beside this, wouldn't it be the same size?
Yes.
Yes. Plus, 4/8 is equal to 1/2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because 4 is half of 8, so therefore 4/8 is the same thing as 1/2. All right, but that's why I wanted you to color the top one so that you could actually see that it was the same. They look the same. If you did it long like that, then sometimes people mistakenly say, oh, that's not the same, and then they make a decision on which one they think is bigger, and it's really the same. All right, let's go on to the next section. This is a story problem. Again, you're going to have to color. Sasha needs 1 1/4 cups of flour for her recipe. Kayla needs 1 1/2 cups of flour for her recipe. Who needs more flour, Sasha or Kayla? So what they want to do is color. So when you see, they gave you 2 squares, right? All right, I mean 2 rectangles. So for the first rectangle, what do you need to do?
Color the whole thing.
Yeah, color the whole thing because that represents the 1 cup. So color the whole rectangle to represent the 1 whole cup. But then it said Sasha also needed how much?
1/4.
1/4. 1 1/4. So coloring the whole rectangle represents the whole cup. And then out of the 1/4, you need to color how much? 1 piece out of the 4 pieces. Because they took that same rectangle and divided it into 4ths again so that you can color 1 out of the 4 pieces to make 1/4. So 1 1/4. Then you go over to Kayla and she needed how much? 1 1/2. So for the first rectangle again, you're going to color the whole thing. And for the second rectangle, you're going to color 1 piece. 1 piece so that it would be coloring 1/2 of it. Then you can look at the comparison of what you colored. The 1 whole is equal, so you look at the part and who needed more? Kayla, very good. Kayla needed more because 1/4 is smaller than 1/2. Just think about it. You took the whole cup and divided it into 4 pieces, whereas on 1/2 you took the whole cup and only divided it into 2 parts. So the less division, the more you get. All right, when you turn it over to the back, they are again comparing. Oh, by the way, you needed to put greater than, less than, or equal to in the middle. Did you do that? 1 1/4 is less than 1 1/2. Don't forget to do that too. And bubble in Kayla. All right, now turn it back and you see the whole bar, and then they divided it into, wake up guys, they divided it into what? After the whole bar, 4ths, and then they divided it into 8ths. So we're going to find comparisons and see which ones are the same. So they started with 1 whole bar, but they gave us a denominator of 4. So 1 whole bar, the same fraction that would be the whole bar would be Get everybody look at number one. Number one, does everybody see it says 1 whole equals, and they give us a denominator of 4. So what does our numerator need to be? 4. So 1 whole is equal to 4 fourths. There you go. You guys were like going to sleep on me, I think. Are you awake out there now? Let's move our chair back over. Joey, put your chair behind your desk, please. Hurry. All right, and then right underneath that, number 2, they again say 1 whole bar, but this time our denominator is, oh, they didn't give you the denominator, did they? They gave you the numerator. If they give you a numerator of 8, and you're talking about the whole bar, then your denominator needs to be 8. So 1 whole bar is equal to 4 fourths, or 1 whole bar is equal to 8 eighths. And 4 fourths would be equal to 8 eighths. All of that would be equal. All right, so this time, I don't have these on the board, so you may have to use your own hand and cover up so that you can only see 2 fourths. So look, there's 1 fourth and there's 2 fourths. And underneath that, how many eighths do you see? Actually, they told you how many eighths, didn't they? Whoops. They told you how many the numerator was. You needed to put the denominator. But you can see that you have 4 eighths. Does everybody see that? If you're looking at 2 fourths, it is the same thing as 4 eighths. It would also be the same thing as 1 half. Right? Now go to the next one, but this time they want you to look at 6 eighths. So take your hand and see 1 eighths, 2 eighths, 3 eighths, 4 eighths, 5 eighths, 6 eighths. Right? When you can see 6 eighths, what do they want you to look at? The fourths, right? So how many fourths is that? 3 fourths. Very good. If you keep answering before everybody, just count 3 before you answer, okay? Because I want everybody to think it through. Does everybody see how 6 eighths is the same thing as 3 fourths? Raise your hand if you don't see that. All right? The next one says 2 something is equal to 1 fourth. So look at 1 fourth. Everybody just look at 1 fourth, and you see that you have 2 what? 2 eighths. I told you to count 3. I still keep hearing you first. I want everybody to answer. That was Allison that time?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. All right, 2 eighths. Very good. 2 eighths is equal to 1 fourth. All right, this time they want you to look at 4 eighths. So go 1, 2, 3, 4 eighths. When you see 4 eighths, that is equal to how many fourths?
2 fourths.
2 fourths. We already did that one another time, just in a different way, didn't we? All right, now you need your colored pencils again. All right, we're going to start off just comparing fraction. So for the first one, what fraction did they give us? 3 6. So color 3 of the 6. There. Divide it into 6 pieces. You're coloring 3 of them. And really, truly, we don't need a picture for this to know the difference because they both have the same denominator, don't they? For the second one, you're going to color how many pieces? 5 of the 6. But since it had the same denominator, you really didn't need a picture to tell the difference. Which one's bigger? 5 6. So 3 6 is less than 5 6. Go too fast, so I'll pause a minute while we wait for people to get all of those colored. For those that are ready to go, look at the next one. What's our denominator? 3. So that means they divided into 3 pieces. And on the first one, they want you to color
2 thirds.
2 thirds. So you're going to color how many?
2
pieces. 2 of the 3 pieces. And for the one we're comparing it to, you're coloring how much? 1 third. So you're going to color how many pieces?
1.
Just 1. And let's compare it. 2 thirds is greater than 1 third. All right, this again doesn't have anything to do with your paper. But for those of you who are already finished coloring, what would happen if we took that 1 third and picked it up and put it with the other side 2 thirds? What would we?
It would make a hole.
Yeah, it would make a hole. The 2 third, and you take that 1 third and put it in that empty place, you would have the whole thing, wouldn't you? That's sort of adding fractions, and we are going to do adding fractions, but it's not on the test. It's just something we'll do. So we're actually going to do that the day after the test, because the test ended up landing on Thursday, and Friday we already have quite a bit to do. All right, what's your next one? Say.
Two halves.
2 halves. You still say it 2 halves. 2 halves. So you have, looks like a cake and it's divided in half and you have both halves. So you have the whole thing, don't you? 2 halves. And the other side says to color how much?
One whole thing.
One whole thing. So this time they're asking you to color the whole thing. They didn't even divide it in half. They just said you have the whole thing. So 2 halves is what to one whole thing?
Equal to.
Equal. They are the same. They are equal. You should color the whole thing both times. Okay, raise your hand if you need more time. Okay. I know coloring in takes a little bit of time. Some people are faster at it. Some people are too fast at it. Need to slow down and be neater. All right, the next one is not a story problem, but you need to color a mixed number. So the first one is what mixed number? Say it.
1 and 5/8.
1 and 5/8. So for that first rectangular strip, what are you going to color?
Color it all.
All of it. Very good. Color it all. And then for the second rectangular strip, you're coloring a fraction they asked you. So you're coloring what fraction?
5/8.
5/8. So you're going to color 5 of the 8 pieces. 5 of the 8 pieces. This is when you need to be careful, because this is a time, like on the test, where I've had people that were a little bit careless in their counting, and maybe they only colored 4 by mistake. They knew it was 5, but they only colored 4, or they got too ambitious and colored 6 instead. So if I were you, I would just be really careful. Make sure you actually just color 5. Because if you color too many, I do have to take off some points for coloring too many. Even if you get the fact of whether they're greater than, less than, or equal to correct. If you colored the wrong amount, I have to take off points. On the other side, they're telling you to do how much?
1 whole.
1 and 3/8. So for the first rectangle, you're again going to do what?
Color it all.
Color it all. And for the second one, for the fraction, you're going to color how many pieces?
3/8.
3. 3 of the 8 pieces to make 3/8. Alright, and for the comparison, it says 1 and 5/8 is
Greater than 1 and 3/8.
Notice the beautiful picture of Glacier National Park there, and they tell you it was established in 1910. Looks like a beautiful place to visit, doesn't it? Alright, and then the last thing you're going to do is a little bit of review of division. As soon as you've done that, I just want you to set your paper to the side. I'm going to give you a few moments to do it. Not long. I may not let you finish it, because we do need to work on the, remember I told you we're going to do the back of your other paper together. Okay, since we are having to do the second paper, I just want, we're not going to do the whole thing together. You're going to do the front by yourself, but I do want to do numbers 10 through 15 together, because some of you have had a hard time with that in the past. Alright, just pause on that. Let's go ahead and do that, since I am having to videotape. Everybody turn your second paper over to the back. Turn the second paper to the back and look at numbers 10 through 15. Alright, so it says 1 pound and it says 16 ounces. So remember, you have to change both sides so they're the same. So let's change 1 pound to how many ounces are in a pound. How many ounces are in a pound?
16.
16 what?
Ounces.
Yes.
OZ.
OZ, very good. Remember, the abbreviation for ounces is OZ. So above 1 pound, I want you to write 16 OZ. And now you can very easily see 16 ounces, so that is
Equal to.
equal. Are we good? Nobody should be looking at somebody's paper. Are you good? Are you at number 10? on the second paper, do you see 1 pound and you see 16 ounces? Above 1 pound, you should write that there are 16 ounces, 1 pound. So you're comparing ounces to ounces. 16 ounces, 16 ounces, and it's equal. All right, the next one says 20 ounces on one side. On the other side, it says 1 pound. Well, 1 pound is 16 ounces. Where are the rest of you? So write 16 ounces again. So this time you're not comparing 16 ounces to 16 ounces. You're comparing
20 ounces to 16 ounces.
And you say 20 ounces is
Greater
than
16 ounces.
All right, now let's go to number 12. Number 12 says 36 ounces, and then it says 2 pounds. Well, 16 plus 16, 6 plus 6 is 12. And rename, 1 plus 1 plus 1?
32.
32. So 2 pounds would be 32 ounces. If you know that 1 pound is 16 ounces, then you just add it together, or you could multiply. You could say 16 times 2, and say 2 times 6 is? No, 2 times 6 is not 32. 12. Rename. 2 times 1 is 2. Add the renamed 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay? Then it is 32, but you can't say 2 times 6 is 32. That doesn't make sense. 2 times 6 is 12. Put the 2, rename the 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Add what you renamed, makes it 3. 2 plus 1 is 3. So either way, you're getting 32. If you don't remember how to do this, then just add it. Okay? So you have 36 ounces and you have 32 ounces above the 2 pounds. So 36 ounces is
Greater than 32 ounces.
All right, the next one is pints and cups. Some of you have a bad habit of changing something like this to quarts. You're not supposed to do that. It says pints, it says cups. So one of the sides needs to be changed to cups, or one of the sides needs to be changed to pints. But we know how many cups are in a pint. 1 pint is
2 cups.
2 cups. So above 1 pint, put 2C, period. 2 cups. Now you're comparing 2 cups to 4 cups. 2 cups is
Less than 4 cups.
4 cups. All right, number 14 is quarts and pints. Well, you know how many pints are in a quart? 2 pints in a quart. So above 1 quart, put 2 PT for 2 pints. Now you've got 2 pints on one side and 1 pint on the other, so you have 2 pints is
Greater than 1 pint.
greater than 1 pint. And the last one is gallons and quarts. So 1 gallon is how many quarts?
4 quarts.
4 quarts. So you're going to put 4 QT. 4 quarts is
Less than 6 quarts.
less than 6 quarts. All right, and then the last thing, make sure you are numbering those in order from the smallest to the greatest. I hope you remember which one's smallest. Not smallest is number 1, the biggest is number 4. And don't forget to go back to the top and see if you can come up with the best measurement for those objects. If you don't know what something is, raise your hand and ask.